Welcome into a Friday edition of DNVR Bets Daily, and happy Friday to everyone tuning in with us. And Dre, the golf gods have shined down upon me and probably many others who took what looked to be an extremely juicy odds boost from the good folks at DraftKings Sportsbook. I think anyone who saw it, they were boosting it from minus 347 or something up to plus 125. It was Tiger Woods to make the cut. They had a pretty hefty limit on it, and I went ahead and just hit the entire limit because I thought it was such a good bet. Mm-hmm. And Tiger Woods, man, goes out there and just sucks today. He shoots 4 over, I believe. Yes. To fall all the way back to 3 over on the tournament. And for most of the day, that looks like that's going to miss the cut. But with about an hour and a half left, the projected cut moves to plus 3, and then it's bouncing back to plus 2, and it's bouncing to 3, 2, 3. And it finally settles on 3 at the very end of the round. With a little bit of help from Bryson DeChambeau, which we'll talk about in a second. And Tiger makes the cut. So everyone rejoice. We just barely snuck it out.
I mean, think of the book and how much money they would have made on a Thursday golf with no sports going on, with Bryson and Tiger both missing the cut on the same day. That was like almost 30% of the action they were getting on overall money lines were those two guys to win. And before we even go into the weekend, they could have been done with. Crazy.
Just crazy. Yeah. And Dre, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about yesterday. This is one of those streaks where I just keep losing everything, but I keep hitting big ones. And that was a big one.
It's all that matters in golf, too. And I mean, let's not bury the lead. Tiger is the rightful lead, but as far as we're concerned, Jim Furyk tied for 8th, Ryan. 68 on the day, right there, -4. Now it's 5 out of the lead. Finau and Ryan Palmer and Jon Rahm, who completely killed me with my Tony Finau at plus 400. The 6-shooter, I almost had it, but Jon Rahm had to come in with a monster 67 on the day. One of the best we've seen in the entire tournament so far. Yeah, that was a shame. But dude, Furyk, he's there. He's
Jimmy,
there.
Old Jimmy. You know, the crazy thing is he's actually hasn't driven the ball as well as I expected him to so far. I mean, he's still doing great, but I think he's like 5th or 6th in the tournament in terms of driving accuracy. Mm-hmm. Colin Morikawa, surprisingly, is 1st in that statistic. And that gives me hope because I just think, he doesn't need to look at this as I need to go make up 5 strokes tomorrow.
Yeah.
What he needs to look at this is this course has some teeth and it's going to get some people. And all I got to do is go throw out another 4 under tomorrow and another 4 under on Sunday and hope that number is enough. You get yourself in trouble in this sport when you start counting birdies before you make them. And you start trying to do things that are out of your character because you need to hit that number. If he just plays his game, he's going to have a chance. And what I'm honestly hoping for, a little peel behind the curtain, because I was all in on Colin Morikawa, and I don't think I ever would have taken the buyout. They never got it high enough.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that he gets in a place where there's a buyout involved.
Yeah, remind us, you got him at 600 to 1?
200 to 1.
200 to 1. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think, he's already at what, plus 8,000? Is it still that? I wouldn't be surprised if he's gotten even better odds now. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good pick. I think you'll get a decent buyout offer.
I think if he gets if he starts making moves tomorrow, he at plus 8,000. I think if he starts making moves tomorrow and gets inside the top 5, I think they'll allow it.
You could get in on Mackenzie Hughes at plus 8,000 right now, too. Interesting.
It's good value. I mean, there's good value all over this board. Yeah. No one has been that impressive, honestly. Tony 2 consistent days, and that's what you need in this. But no one looks like they're tearing this up. And as we saw today, anything can happen. Bryson DeChambeau, who sits at, I believe it was 1 over at the time, which is fine. You're fine at 1 over. And honestly, what he should have been looking at is the cut line. I don't know how privy they are to that information out there, but someone should have told him, hey, the cut's 3, just be smart here. Well, he hits way left off of the tee. He ends up in the hazard, so he has to drop out of the hazard. So he's hitting 3 from outside of the hazard, and this is a par 5, and he takes out 3 wood, and you can see that he's way left of the hole, and there's a very small gap that he's trying to hit it through, and you know that gap goes across the fairway. It's not towards the hole. So he's in thick rough trying to hit a 3 wood with a massive draw, and he's like asking his caddy, he's like, the carry is 240, so he's trying to like mash this 3 wood and draw it. But again, he's not thinking this through, because out of that, these guys can do anything, so I shouldn't say you can't do it. But out of that type of rough, trying to put action on a fairway wood is very, very difficult. So he blasts one, and literally the second that it goes off the face, he realizes it's not turning, and he says, that's OB. And it was OB. So right here, this is where he needed someone to just say, hey, let's just pitch out into the fairway and just, try to get away with a 7 or something here, because OB is a worse penalty than his first tee shot. So now he's hitting 5 from where he is. And he does the exact same thing, even worse, hits it further out of bounds. So now he's hitting the same shot, but now he's so, it's a kind of like I think it's called a sunk cost fallacy. Yeah. Where he's like, well, I got to do it again. So he does it again. Yeah. He actually thinks when it's in the air that he's hit it out of bounds a 3rd time. But luckily he didn't hit this one as solid, so it ends up short, almost rolls into another hazard. Dude. He ends up making 10 on the hole, puts himself at +6 with like 4 holes to play, basically has no chance, and just takes himself completely out of the tournament. But what's funny is, the cut line, which I guess a lot of people didn't really understand how this works as they bet on Tiger to make the cut this week. But the cut line is a set number of players, and however many players are there or tied for that number can go in. So I don't know how. I think 72 guys ended up making it this week, but they said that it was set to be the top 65. Well, when Bryson was there, it was exactly 65 players or close to it were at 3 over. So he, by doing that, gets it down to 64 and gives us a little wiggle room on the Tiger cut line, because you would have then had to have 2 guys who were at 3 over jump up to 2 over to bounce everyone out. And Bryson does us a favor. I don't think any of us had action on him. So there we go. Thanks, Bryson.
And he ended up with a 10 on that hole?
He took a 10, a quintuple bogey. And I was talking to one of my buddies, and I was like, I can honestly say, now I've taken a 10, certainly, in my life. I've never gone hazard OB. I just don't think I've ever done that. So Bryson, Jack Nicklaus was on the broadcast because this is his course. And he just said, like, man, he's got all this new strength and power, and he's going to have to learn how and when to use it. I think he kind of had an invincibility feeling going of, I can hit it as far as I can draw it 30 yards and hit it 240 in the air, and he'll learn. So no Bryson for the weekend. That would have been really bad if he hadn't already covered all the long drive props.
Yeah, no kidding. That's right. Thank God he got those out the way in the first 7. Yeah, but you called it from the start. He should have not taken last week off, because his short game just was suffering.
It really was.
Touch just wasn't there.
Which is so crazy. You think this is all these guys work on, and he's hitting the same shots. I mean, almost every hole he has a wedge in his hand, and was not clean with the wedges this week. So then he had like this dispute with the rules official, because actually there was a second there where we thought maybe his first ball had bounced back inbounds. It was probably out of bounds by this much. and he was like, disputing the rules official, saying that like Phil Mickelson at the Arnold Palmer Invitational and this year, like one time hit it from the other side of the fence. Like, why can't I do that? The rules official was like, well, that's a different tournament, and this is a steel fence and all this stuff, and so
bummer. Not really.
It was tough to watch, but now we've got action on the weekend. Xander Schauffele also fights his way back to make the cut.
Incredible.
So Spencer, he's got two guys there, and Cantlay is up there. All of his picks are still in play because he had Tiger to win, which if that happens, they're gonna set a viewership record probably.
Yeah.
And he had Cantlay top 10 and Schauffele top 10. Those two are very much in play, especially Cantlay top 10. Of course, he gave us the Bryson over 355. So has a chance here. Has a chance to have a nice little weekend.
Yeah, and that top 10's looking intriguing. Woodland right there at the top too. And what's nice is like the guys in front of Furyk, not a ton of big game players who you're like, oh, they're really going to lock in Saturday and Sunday,
It's true, yeah. I mean, I'm a little worried about my guy Big Tony just taking it out right from under me, but that's okay.
How about Ches Reavie, a guy I'd never heard of before until you took him yesterday in the matchup against Jim Furyk, right? That was the matchup?
Yep.
And yet he comes out and tosses out a 67. He's tied for fourth at -6. Crazy.
Totally crazy. But, I sent you a tweet from No Laying Up, and they said the last time Dustin Johnson was on the golf course, he beat everyone in the field. He won, it was was that the Rocket Mortgage?
Right. Yeah.
So he won the Rocket Mortgage. Or maybe it was one before that. But
yeah, I think it was one before. And Bryson
he took the next two off.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time he sets foot on the golf course, he goes from beating everyone in the field to beating 0 people in the field, Andre. He gets dead last this week. That'll show you just how crazy the game of golf is.
Insanity.
From first to dead last in 2 tournaments.
That's crazy. Wow. Whew.
So there you go. Okay, we've got more golf this weekend. We've got UFC. We'll be down at the DNVR, or at least I will certainly be down at the DNVR bar tomorrow night watching UFC. So if you want to come hang, please do. And maybe we'll circle back to golf when we go to our picks. But Dre, let's talk about this UFC card.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's our 4th title fight in Fight Island in a week's worth of time, and that's going to be the flyweight, the second title that Henry Cejudo left vacant by retiring. These are the 125 pounders, and this is a rematch between Figueiredo against Benavidez. Interesting thing about this, the first time these two fought, Figueiredo, who's the one kind of big-ish in the -200s favorites we have in this main card. It's as close odds-wise a main card as we've seen in a long while, so that's exciting. There's no real chalk here with a lot of toss-ups. So Figueiredo comes in overweight, so even though he won that fight, he didn't get the title. The title's still vacant. And Benavidez disputes the win because what happened is I think Figueiredo won the first round just barely. Benavidez is winning the second round, really throwing some volume. They bonk heads. He doesn't look like stunned, but you can see he's not like attacking like he was before. He's kind of like trying to figure things out and backing up. And as he's backing up, Figueiredo, who has insane power for a 125-pound man, knocks him out cold basically, and wins the fight, but doesn't get the title because he was overweight. So no one gets the title, which is insane. So in this rematch, and Figueiredo coming into that fight, slight underdog. Now he's the one guy who's favored by over -200. Look, I like his style better. He's one of these weird guys who advances, but is kind of a counter puncher too. So it's kind of setting the pace, but he's waiting for you to throw first to then catch you as you're coming in. And he's got some insane power at 125 pounds. Stylistically, definitely a guy I'd lean towards more. But Benavidez, very complete. He throws good volume. Veteran guy at 28-6 in his career. So even if you're getting them in the, plus 190s or what have you, this isn't an insane upset to call, but I definitely lean Figueiredo here, and he seems to be going up at minus 225.
Okay, because when you said main card all close, you know what I heard?
Upset City or favorites?
Yeah, upset round robin.
This is really going to be our to go the distance round robin, I think.
Oh, okay. I can get with that.
But you're not going to get as insane odds, but still, once you put all 5 together, it's going to come out to pretty nice. And it's a trend we've seen, and this card really kind of lends itself to that.
So we're saying yes to go the distance?
I think so.
Yeah, that's not, but it's not set up for the round robin.
Yeah, I know. For the round robin, think if we'd done a regular parlay, those last 2 main cards, insane.
Or round robin. I mean,
right, either one would have done just fine. Yeah, it's true.
We'd be rich.
We would have had like Calvin Caters and the Judo Thunder. We would have got great odds for that.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
So we've yet to see a finish on the main card in Fight Island.
That's right. Yep. Unless I'm forgetting one, but I think that's correct. We didn't have one in 251 either, right?
We did. Van Zandt was a finish.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yep. Andrade got the... Oh, no, that was another. Jesus. Okay, yeah, that was another. All right. Then co-main might be more exciting, but it's not a title fight. But Jack Hermanson against Kelvin Gastelum, who's... So Hermanson, more twitchy, athletic, will bring the kicks and will try to get you down and do a submission. Gastelum, big-time fighter, boxer with a bit of a wrestling background as well. So I don't think Hermanson's going to try to go with the takedown as often. And you're getting him at even odds. Hermanson was really rising up this middleweight division quickly. And then he's Norwegian. They have a fight night in Denmark where he is the main card against I'm blanking, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, he gets knocked out in the second by a big power guy. And so, he was kind of the hot name, ranked like in the top 5, and now he's fallen off a little. And Gastelum's a guy who hangs tough. A lot of people think he should go to a lower weight to really maximize his power, but maybe question his work ethic a little bit. I like Gastelum just stylistically. I like Gastelum. I think he's kind of our style of fighter, and even though Hermanson certainly has some nice tools with his submission skills and athleticism, I like Gastelum too. And I think most of our listeners would too. He's just like more exciting because he's got some of that boxing background, and that's fun to watch.
All right. So Gastelum is the pick. They're both sitting there at minus 12. So they're calling this a straight up fight.
Yeah, and I think Gastelum's gotten a little love to make that completely even. I think it was just barely favoring Hermanson before. Mark Dikisi against Rafael Flitziev.
I'm seeing Fiziev.
There you go.
Fiziev.
Yeah, I'll accept either. Either sound better than what I tried to do. Dikisi, more athletic, kickboxing type. Fakizi, or how am I saying his name? Rafael. Let's go with that. I think is an interesting underdog pick at plus 135. He's built like a tank. He's got more power, and he's going to come at you. He's got some submission skills too, or some grappling skills. Dikisi, the thing is, he can keep him at bay with that range and the athleticism and a little heightened movement. Yeah, I guess maybe this is a card where some upsets would be intriguing.
Now I'm talking you into it.
Yeah, you are. Lipinski against Carolina, 2 Brazilians in the flyweight division for the ladies. That's kind of a pick-em here. Carolina at plus 100 has me intrigued just because she's coming in 6-1. I see a little more athleticism, more volume in the striking. She should be pretty exciting to watch. So look out for her. And this final fight, This is another big fight in the flyweight division. So 125 pounders, two fringe top 5 contenders here in Alexander Pantoja and Askarov. For a flyweight, Pantoja's as exciting as they come, like ripped. He's going to come at you. His last fight was absolutely insane. The guys were just swinging for the fences, and Pantoja got him down in the second. His loss came 2 fights ago against Figueiredo, who's fighting for the title fight. So, he was right on the verge of getting the title fight himself before getting knocked out by Figueiredo. So he's an exciting guy who's going to push the pace and kind of make it so that you can get knocked out. Askarov, his last win came against Tim Elliott. Rare win, Ryan. Tim Elliott is out cold for a split second, goes down, comes back conscious. That fight went a whole 3, even though that happened in the first. So how upset would you be if that you had that not to go the distance
to finish? Oh,
but Askarov has a ton of submissions in his career, on top of some deceptive knockout power. And if Pantoja isn't careful and is so aggressive as he's known to be, Askarov can catch him both with the fist and in a pesky submission. So at plus 165, that's maybe my favorite dog of the entire night.
Love it.
Yeah. And, interesting to have these flight weights here, despite being, really small guys. The yes to go the distance there is decent value on them. Well, I guess it's plus 150 on the main card. Maybe that's the one where you go counter. I don't understand how that's to go the distance. Yes, minus 230. Like that to me is you're just looking at the flight weights. You're not looking at what Pantoja has done in his career.
Interesting. All right.
So maybe it's a no, yes, 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 yes. Is how you set up the round robin.
Well, I think I'm going dogs.
I like the dogs too. Yeah, and you're getting better value there. Okay, fine. We'll go dogs.
You could maybe talk me out of Benavidez and just throw one favorite on there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you've got a plus 135, a plus 165, a plus 100. That's a.
Yeah, no, you're not. That's nice. You're talking me into that. I like that.
All right.
I like that. And maybe I'll parlay them all to go the distance just for funsies. Just regular parlay.
And you could still go round robin there. I mean, all it does is take the loss out, but you just have to hit 4 out of 5 for it to be profitable.
Yeah, I know. The round robin, it's a little expensive, right?
It is. The round robins are not cheap.
Yeah.
But, I've got all this Tiger made the cut money, so why not invest it idiotically?
I guess so. But this will be fun. We're kind of due for some UFC wins, and the more I look at this card, the more I'm kind of talking myself into it. There's some fun ones here.
Yeah, and not a lot of options out there on the golf markets yet, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to get those out today, unless you want to take like Jim Furyk to be the leader after round 3 plus 8,000. If that's something you're interested in, that's something you can get right now. Man, what would he have to shoot? Probably has to shoot a 65 at worst, and that only gets him to 10 under.
It's a 65, 66 at minimum, and you need some real help from the guys ahead. Which in this course, we need to remind people, more so than in the tournaments we've had thus far, that's where we will see some people guaranteed will fall off. We're going to see some rough weekends from a couple of these top 10 guys who just kind of fall flat.
So there's nothing out there right now, but I just have a feeling about John Rahm tomorrow faltering.
I'd love that.
So if you can fade Rahm at some point, I would do that.
I like that. And I kind of like Mackenzie Hughes. That's another one. Man, he's heating up. But yeah, back-to-back 66 is hard task.
Yeah, but you got that 74 out of your system. I don't know.
Wait, was it 2 tournaments ago, or was it last tournament where Mackenzie was in the top 3 or top 5, like
2.
Going into Saturday? Okay, so it wasn't the same course.
No,
he's been in good shape. He's been in good shape recently. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Justin Thomas might make a move tomorrow. So if you can get action on him.
In the plus 20, JT is dangerous for sure. Plus 1200, yeah. Yeah, okay. There's a ton of soccer this weekend.
What do we got? Well, before we talk soccer, let's talk DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, sign up now. Get a sign-up bonus when you use the code DNVR up to $1,000. That's right. You can get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when you join DraftKings Sportsbook and use the code DNVR. Like we've mentioned, there's just so much fun action to get in on there. Always make it interesting. They're always tossing odds boosts at you to keep it even more interesting. Yep. I'm sure we'll have something on UFC tomorrow. I haven't checked to see if they have like a fight night protection or something along those lines yet, but always fun stuff. Always, sensible, smart bets out there that they kind of just put in front of you and say, hey, have this one. So get over to DraftKings Sportsbook and download the app and use the code DNVR when you sign up to get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Of course, you must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Bonus comprised of first deposit bonus and first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough, and restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Okay. Yeah, a little Friday. I wanted to make sure I could still go quick.
Definitely confirm that. To your point, 2 UFC odds boosts here. One, you could parlay Figueiredo, Gastelum, and Lipinski, so the 3 favorites and the 3 main fights. Not what we love. That gets boosted from plus 360 to plus 400. Or Benavidez by decision gets boosted to plus 355. That has me interested.
Yeah, that is interesting. But I was looking for like the fight night protection or the bet on either main card fighter and win $50 either way or whatever. Maybe that'll come later.
Yeah.
Probably. All right, what do we got on the pitch, as they say?
Okay, well, don't forget my 2-score Kai Kamara. That would put me 2-2 on the day. That happens tonight. Go Rapids. Let's hope that things go well there. Leicester Tottenham, a big game. Not so much for Tottenham, who's kind of stuck in that 6th-7th spot. Leicester, though, is fighting for their Champions League lives. Going against Tottenham will not be an easy task. Chelsea, Leicester, and Man U all within 1 point of each other. Those are the teams in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Only 2 will make the Champions League. 1 will be excluded. I say it's Leicester, and Tottenham at plus 130 is pretty nice value there. Staying, though, in the UK, what's more fun is the FA Cup is this weekend with 2 bangers in the semifinals. Arsenal against Man City. Arsenal, a plus 800 underdog. Manchester United, Chelsea. These are single elimination, neutral field type deals. Man U, Chelsea, much more intriguing. Man U's been in great form until just the last couple games, and I wonder if they've been looking forward to this matchup in the FA Cup. Chelsea, now, I wouldn't be against a Chelsea player prop where you take, say, Christian Pulisic, 2-score, plus 750.
Whoa, is he not going to start?
I'm sorry, that was first to score.
Okay, still.
Let's see, 2-score. Yeah, because he's been on a tear lately. Oh, right. 2 scores in alphabetical order, which makes it so much easier. You can just go down. Plus 270, though. Still pretty nice.
That's juicy.
Yeah. So I might take that and Man U to win at plus 135. I like that. Hard to go against City, even though minus 315 in a single elimination game, anything can happen. Yeah. But anyways,
so Arsenal versus Man City.
Yeah.
Oof. Arsenal's in good form right now.
They are. Plus 800, man.
Yeah, that's...
And Arsenal, if there's something that Arsenal, through their years of kind of lollygagging and not really doing well, has been good at, it's winning FA Cups. Or at least competing in the FA Cup. So, they're right there. Single elimination, anything can happen. So, just throwing that out there. In the Italian League, my bread and butter. Verona against Atalanta, 2 nice stories. Atalanta has been amazing. They're a favorite of minus 245. They've been on a tear. I think their 8-game consecutive win streak ends in this one, and I like the plus 420 tie. Plus 420 tie. That's nice odds there. My guys at AC Milan, you can just barely get them against Bologna at minus 195. The over 2.5 goals at minus 200 is juicy as well here. Both of those would be nice for parlays. My team Parma, plus 210 against Sampdoria. Parma struggled a little lately, but I think they'll get back on the right way here. Maybe my favorite upset of the weekend, Torino against Fiorentina. Fiorentina stinks. Torino plus 310. It's insane on the road. And I mentioned a while back when I said, I'm not going with first goals. I'm just going to score. And I said, Andrea Belotti is kind of the Holland of Italy. Since I said that, I think he scored 6 or 7 goals in a row. Anyways, he scored 7 goals in a row. You can get that at a nice little odds too. Lots of nice games in the Italian league. Let me give out just one more pick, and we're going to take Spal. Plus 190 against Brescia. 2 worst teams in the league. Brescia's kind of already looking to be their relegation lineup with their young players trying to get experience. Spal still playing for a little more. So even though they're the dog here at plus 190 with Brescia plus 133, I like Spal here. So there you go.
The bottom of the Italian league, man. That's where we're going to find value. I love it.
Baseball's back next week. Yeah.
Yes, and that is a good that you mentioned that. Baseball returns next week. Super excited for that. Obviously, we'll be hanging out at the DNVR bar, watching the Rockies all the time. But I just did a quick little explainer and just the basics of baseball betting. You know, just explaining the run line, what to keep an eye on, what moves the odds. Almost the entire line in baseball comes down to starting pitchers.
Yes.
And I think there's value to be found there betting against teams with a good starting pitcher on the mound that have a bad bullpen. So just something that we can track as time goes on. Look at bullpen ERAs. And, you know, not the aces of aces that are going to go out and give you 7-8 innings every time.
Right.
But the guys who, you know, maybe are 3-1, you know, 4-2 on the season.
Right. That ace pitcher who's like 5 games in, it's like, oh, he's 3-1 and he's got a 3.2 ERA, and all of a sudden Vegas is giving him a little love. But if the bullpen's shaky, there can be a nice opportunity there.
Right. You might have to sweat out some late inning wins, but I think that's that goes beyond my mind. That's kind of my market inefficiency, I think, that exists in baseball. Whenever there's a good starter on the mound, you're getting that team as the favorite. And you might be able to hit some underdogs with bad bullpens.
Nice.
So
I like it.
All right. I think it's going to wrap it up for us on DNVR Bets Daily. Come down to the DNVR bar tomorrow night. Watch UFC with us. Things get rowdy. We yell. We get upset at decisions, or sometimes we celebrate decisions. Hopefully we're celebrating tomorrow night. But either way, we'd love to see you down there. So if not, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.